Quarter century ago, in a circumstance much like this today, I said that Austin lost its innocence the night those young souls became victims. Today, we have some closure.
34 years after 4 teenage girls were murdered at a North Austin, Texas yogurt shop, officials now say there's a link between the killings and a Heartland serial killer. Good afternoon. Last week, police announced that they had linked the suspect, Robert Eugene Brashears, to the 1991 quadruple murder by analyzing DNA and ballistic evidence. In a news conference today, they presented those findings.
Today marks a critical step forward in honoring not only their memory, but getting at truth and accountability. We now have evidence linking a specific individual to this case, Robert Eugene Brashears. The only physical evidence located at that scene has been matched to him.
Brashears has already been linked to several cold cases using DNA evidence, one of which was the shooting deaths of Sherry and Megan Shearer in Portageville, Missouri back in 1998. Brashears shot himself during a standoff with police in Kennett, Missouri in 1999 and died from his injuries several days later. We're going to hear much more on this case coming up on Heartland News at 5 and 6.